Hey guys, welcome back to episode 3. This episode is primarily just a lot of building, so it'll be quite short, and a lot of cuts. Cheers. So in this episode, I went ahead and I started building like the actual houses, because right now it is just straight up a wall with a bunch of trees in it. I needed storage basically. I mostly for this episode it will mainly be a lot of like getting the basics, like a farm, an animal farm, water in the base, a storage room, stuff like that. So this part's just a lot of chopping down the trees. I'm just gonna cut because it's really not that interesting here. So I want to make a pond, not just for fishing, but also just appearance-wise. That's basically what I'm gonna do here. So I figure I can make the walls look a little bit better. I've decided instead of the cobblestone, parts, I'm gonna make it out of the chisel stone, as I think it looks way cooler and just a bit more interesting, really. I'm just gonna let this play out. I have no words. So that's taken a couple of years off my life. Um, Honestly, here, like after I eat and I'm healing, I just take my hands off the keyboard. And I'm literally just like shaking a bit. That was insane. I very nearly fell off, like missed this block, and if I had done that, obviously I would have died. Right after doing all of that building, it would have sucked. So, yeah, that cuts this mining trip really short. So I mentioned I started building a storage room, and this is what this is going to become. I kind of want something that is a little bit underground, as I always think they look a little bit better. Plus, you can expand very easily without covering the surface. It saves a lot of space as well. Um, yeah, I'm thinking maybe out of like either chisel stone, cobblestone, and logs, since I do have quite an abundance of all of those. For some reason, I kind of want it to look like quite flat, if that makes sense. Like no sloped roofs or anything. I don't know if I'm going to keep this style for the rest of the buildings or anything like that. Just for this one, I think it'll be super cool. I guess the idea is kind of like a bunker, if that makes sense. Sort of somewhere that's like very, I don't really know the word, very secure looking, simple, but like efficient. So, I wouldn't say I hate building. I don't find it necessarily super interesting though. So, while I was doing this, I was watching a, what's it called? I don't even know what to call them. I was watching like one of those videos about lolcows, specifically Jupiter, the hybrid. I think some of the stuff he gets up to is like really crazy. Obviously illegal. I genuinely can't understand why he acts the way he does and doesn't see an issue with it. Yeah, basically the guy I was watching was explaining that Jupiter had just come back to YouTube. I think he got into some kind of trouble with the police about a year ago. Not sure exactly what kind of trouble or what happened, but either way, somehow he's allowed back on the internet. And the guy was basically talking about how he, like Jupiter, had started posting these like things about what's it called, like haunted. He's getting like haunted. He said, like in his kitchen, like something. He was like making ramen, and something grabbed him. Which, I mean, it's hard to tell with Jupiter whether he believes it or not, or he's just like joking about. The best bit, and I say best like take it with a grain of salt, like it's funny, but at the same time it isn't, is Jupiter, right after saying all of this stuff, like this stuff where you don't really know if he's being serious, he then goes on to say that he and people in general, but specifically him, shouldn't be like judged based on their actions. He basically, like, he literally says you shouldn't judge people based on their actions, but what else are you supposed to judge them on? I mean, obviously and again, you never know with him. I couldn't tell if he is saying that to try and like save his own image, or if he genuinely believes that. But yeah, I mean that's kind of his mindset at the moment. As I said a few episodes ago, I really don't want to talk in the video too much, as I feel it can get a little bit annoying. So I'm just gonna speed up this part a little bit more and layer some music over the top. the way, not sure, but if you guys want me to talk more about these kind of lolcow people, I'm more than happy to. I do watch a lot of stuff about them. I just think it's kind of like morbid curiosity. I just find it really interesting. Just let me know. So here, I'm like kind of thinking, do I build an upper level? I said before I want it flat, but I'm just kind of experimenting it. So, bit of a short episode today, but I had to cut and just speed up quite a bit because a lot of it is just building, and I'm assuming no one really wants to see that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I will edit another episode tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.